What is up, everybody? This is JP representing jpfitnesspro.com. If you want one-on-one training, online training, small group training, or nutrition meal plans, please head on over to my website, jpfitnesspro.com. All right, today's video is going to be a follow-up to by far my most popular video, and that's the video I did on personal trainer for certifications and finding out which one is best for you. Hopefully the title wasn't too misleading for you guys. I just thought I'd touch up on this topic again because I did lightly touch up on it on the first video, but that was such a long time ago that I did that video, and you guys seem to have a lot of interest in personal trainer certifications and finding which one is the best for you. And I was the same way. Let's start out with why this is and why people are so attached to personal trainer certifications and finding out which one's the best for you. Being a personal trainer is it's a very fun career. Especially, I love it. It's the best thing I've ever done when it comes to being a career, helping people get stronger and gain muscle, manage their weight, whatever fitness goal, becoming more athletic, whatever you want to train someone in, is it's very rewarding. Seeing someone hit a PR or lose weight and they're so happy about it, it says a lot, and it essentially makes the trainer feel good and the client feel good as well. If you're a good trainer, you're just ultimately trying to help someone better themselves, and you're supposed to be the expert to do that. And when people are looking for personal trainer certifications, they want one that fits them. They want one that fits the type of mold that they have, or the idea that they have for their path and their career. So if someone wants to, and like I said in my first video, that if you're someone who wants to do strength and conditioning, you're by far more inclined to get a personal trainer certification from the NSCA, the National Strength and Conditioning Association. The reason why is because they're definitely aimed more towards athletes. I've looked through a lot of personal trainer books, or books that are from those organizations. They might not be the trainer book themselves, but books coming from those organizations. The NSCA is by far the one that I would say, if someone says they want to train athletes, the NSCA is a way to go. And also because they have that more advanced certification that you have to have a degree to take, the CSCS, the Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist, CERT. So that's something that I said on my first video, and I'm not going back on that. I still think that's the case. If you're someone that wants to get into a big chain gym and you want to absolutely make sure you can get into a big chain gym, you can get into a big chain gym, I'm pretty sure, with most personal trainer certifications that are accredited by a third party. So as long as it's a legit certification, one of the big ones, the NSCA, the ACSM, NASM, NTSF, the ISSA, all those ones, that you're better off, even though you can get in with any of those, you're probably better off getting the one NASM's cert, because again, a lot of big chain gyms just accept the NASM directly. That's who they're partnered with, and if two people, let's just say they're equal and everything else, they get two people that show passion for fitness, and they both have a certification, they both seem like good people, the one that has NASM might be the one picked, because it's just the certification organization that they work with. So gyms partner with other things. NASM seems to be the most popular one. So if your goal is to work in a big chain gym, I still think that's the route to go. The reason why I went with NTSF is because unbiased as possible, I looked up online what the hardest one was, and I heard that, from what I read, not saying that this is objective fact, from what I've seen in forums, that NCSF was a harder test. And when I took it, I actually liked the difficulty of it. It seemed it seemed a good difficulty for going in there. If you just lightly skim the book and you don't study it all, there's no way you're going to even get a 60%, which is the passing score. Like any grade, a D and higher is passing, and below a 60% is an F. You don't get graded; it's either pass or fail. So they're kind of lenient on that, but that's why I went with NCSF. So and from actually studying it, it doesn't seem to prefer anything. There's stuff on proper exercise technique and staying healthy, and then there's chapter on hypertrophy, the strength, and all types of stuff. So it's very well-rounded cert. I like that cert. ISSA is an online cert, so if you can't go to a lot of the personal trainer certifications partner up with Pearson VUE to do testing. You have to go to a location and take the test. You can't just take the test at home. So ISSA has an option for online testing, and because it's a pretty big organization that has online testing, if you want to be accredited from a reputable company, but you can't actually go to a location to test, the ISSA might be right for you. if you're looking for advanced certs, there's two certification organizations that offer advanced certs, NSCA, and there's another one. I forgot the name of the second one, but there is another one. My point being that the certs are different and they may align with your goals depending on what you want to do. Again, all those reasons are why you might pick a specific cert. But the point of this video is to let you know that if you are just trying to be a personal trainer and you don't really, your goal, you don't have a very specific thing you're looking for. Let's just say you want to become a personal trainer and you want to do this. You want to do one-on-one training. You want to become a personal trainer and you want to do group training. If you want to become a personal trainer and you want to teach someone powerlifting exercises. Yes, they have certifications out there that may be aimed towards powerlifters. But whatever your goals are, unless you have a specific thing that presents itself, a nice opportunity, then I wouldn't recommend you focus on personal trainer certifications that much at all. I said that in my first video at the end that essentially it's going to be what you make of it. I could probably count, not even on one hand, how many people ask me what certification I got. Maybe less than 5. I mean, a client may ask me, so what, do you have like a degree? But they never ask me what organization are you certified through. I maybe had 2, and I've trained probably more than 30, 50 clients one-on-one in my life. Again, it's not too many because when you get one client, they usually stay with you. But if you're going through too many clients, it's probably not a good thing anyways. But 30 to 50 in 6-year span, 5-year span, I've worked with people, and I've got asked less than 5 times about my personal trainer certification. To me, one, clients don't care. Let's just start with that. Clients most of the time don't care. They just care that you know what you're talking about and that you can provide a good exercise program for them. You can teach them about nutrition. Obviously, as a personal trainer, you can't diagnose any disease, but you can help them make better food choices to prevent those bad health diseases from coming onto them. But again, they just want a good workout program and they want you to be effective. In the United States, personal trainers aren't heavily governed. There's no one unifying body that tells everyone what to do. So you're less looked at from your credentials than what you can actually do. Where, like, for example, let's just use a doctor as an example. People don't really look for doctors based on what they can do. When you go to a doctor, you want to make sure that they're a doctor. If someone says, well, I'm not a doctor, but I can help you, you're probably going to look at them like they're nuts. But if you see someone who may say, well, you know, I might not be, they may not tell you that they can help you out, but they're a doctor from a hospital. If you're sick, you're not going to question it. You're going to go to a doctor. Whereas personal training is the opposite. It's not hard to get a certification. So saying you're certified from this organization doesn't mean much at all when certification is not hard to do. So again, clients don't really care. They just want an effective workout program. So that's one reason why you shouldn't worry about it too much. The second reason why you shouldn't worry about it too much, again, is, well, let's cover this before I go into step 2, is that when it comes to, again, if the opportunity presents itself for you, then go ahead and take it. I'm not saying don't take the opportunity. Again, you already talked about how the NSCA is aligned more with athletes, and they have the CSCS. If your goal is to train athletes, that's an easy pathway to go through. But sometimes that easy pathway is not so easy. Someone may not know what they want to do, and they're sitting there digging for all this information. Like, which one's the best? Which one's the hardest? Which one's this? Which one's that? In that sense, just follow these steps and it doesn't matter. So again, if the opportunity presents itself, like if you see a certification that's $500 or whatever, and it's a regular price, whatever, $300, $400, $500, and it's a powerlifting certification, and you want to train powerlifters, perfect. Take that opportunity. It's an easy one to get certified right there. But now, ignoring those easy opportunities, again, the first one, I just said clients don't care. They just want results. The second reason is money. It's just money. Some certifications just cost more than other certifications. Again, one personal trainer certification doesn't tell you you can only train people this way. Obviously, if someone has a powerlifting certification and someone has a regular personal trainer certification, if someone looking on the outside in, they're going to probably go to the powerlifter certification person first. But that's not always the case. And again, just because someone has a specific certification doesn't mean that they're the best at that. Me, I don't have a personal trainer certification from an organization that specializes in bodybuilding and powerlifting. But I've read so many books after I've got certified that taught me more about hypertrophy and powerlifting in general, that those are my specialties. I would definitely, by far, saying that teaching people to get stronger at the big 3, the squat, the bench, the deadlift, gaining muscle, hypertrophy is by far my forte. It's what I like doing, and weight management. So again, it's money. So if you're trying to find a specific cert and the cert you want is $1,500 or $2,000 because it has like a little 2-week course, if you got the money, fine, drop it. But I mean, you could easily go with the cheapest certification, just get their credentials and buy books and learn on your own. And by watching videos, doing this shit yourself, and finding good books, and then getting certified, do all of it. For example, what if someone got some good powerlifting certification? I don't know. Let's just say it costs $1,000. Then there was someone else who bought a regular personal trainer shirt for $300. Then they went out and bought an anatomy and physiology book for $150. That's $450. Then they went out and bought they went online and bought like some material from Eric Helms. I really think he puts out a lot of good content. Let's just say they bought his strength training and muscle pyramid books, and then his nutrition pyramid book. And let's just say they followed someone else on YouTube that they thought was real smart. And then on top of that, they bought a biomechanics book. And then they went on YouTube and found some people that they really respected and used their knowledge to determine who knows what they're talking about, and then follow those people. And then took different angles. And then bought a different book. And then it only came out to $900. This person just got multiple different angles, read multiple different books, got a biomechanics book, did all this, but they didn't get a personal trainer certification or a certification centered around powerlifting. Oh my God, the world's gonna end. Again, it doesn't matter. So the second thing would be money. This person over here dropped $1,000 on a certification when they might not got the most bang for the buck. Now, I'm not saying that a powerlifting certification is bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, for example, if you don't have the money to do it, you could, depending on who's doing the certification or not, you could potentially be wasting money. I'm just saying that, again, that's just another reason why you may want to think about it doesn't matter what certification, it's the money. You don't need a fancy cert to be good at what you want to do. A lot of the knowledge out there is free, or it's just a couple books away. So that's the second reason that certs, you don't need to fuss with certs. The first one, the people you train don't give two shits about what cert you have. They just want results. The second reason is money. The certs might be just, they're just too expensive. They could just be way too much money. The third reason that again, you probably shouldn't fuss with certs too much and not deal with it, is that a lot of the information, and I'm not going to lie, even in my certification, a lot of certifications, the information is just outdated. It's just strictly outdated. And yeah, the certification, which it was a hard concept to grasp for me at first, is just wrong. These certifications are, yes, they are giving out wrong information. They just are. Let me give you an example. When I'm talking about from the NCSF, again, I think it's a good certification to start with. Nobody's going to be perfect, even an entire organization, but in their books, I'm not sure if they updated it since then, so if they have, that's fine, but I still have the book from when I still got it. It's confusing because as someone just starting out, you take, it's from a book, it has a cited source, and you're not maybe the best at digging through studies or reading studies, but I'm 90% sure, 99% sure that in the book, it says that for hypertrophy, you want, I think it said, for the recommendations for hypertrophy, it said like 30 seconds to 90 seconds rest or something like that, which now that we know with newer research in the last, I think it's like 5 years, 6, 7 years, might even be older than that, but that's not the case, is that shorter rest periods can actually negatively affect hypertrophy, because when you have too short of a rest period, you're sacrificing volume. For example, if I had you do a set of push-ups to like an RPE of like 6 to 8, you stopped, took a 30-second rest, and then did another set, and then counted all the reps you did from those 2 sets. Then a week later on, you did a set of push-ups, RPE 6 to 8, then you waited 2 minutes and then did another set of push-ups, then you counted, added all those push-ups between those 2 sets. The second 2 sets of push-ups you did, you're gonna have more push-ups, which means more volume. That's just a small example. So essentially, too short of rest periods can actually negatively affect hypertrophy. But in my book, if I'm not mistaken, which I'm 99% sure I'm recalling it correctly, I just looked at it like a week ago, it recommends shorter rest periods than 2 minutes. I would even recommend that 2 to 3 minutes might even be better than 30 seconds, for hypertrophy. So again, that's one example of hypertrophy and stuff like that, and how that's wrong. And another example is, I'm pretty sure it said that isolation movements are key to hypertrophy, which again is still not the case. Again, essentially, especially if you're working with beginners, that's kind of looking at it in a vacuum. I honestly think that compound movement should be prioritized before isolation movements, and in some cases you don't even need to do isolation movements. So again, I can go down the list and just nitpick at the book, but I'm not trying to do that. My point is that a lot of the information is outdated. So why dump all this money into a certification and spend all this time looking for a certification when you're just going to get different information from somewhere else? I'd rather you just, I'll tell you what to do at the end, or what I think you should probably do. But again, I'd rather you not fuss so much about it and waste all that time for, again, a certification that you might even disagree with in the long run. So the last step, or the last point I want to make about getting not worrying about certifications and not making a big deal about it, is that it doesn't matter what certification you get, because you can train people the way that you want to train regardless. So for example, if you waste all this time looking for a certification that's quote unquote right for you, and you spend or you spend a lot of money on a crazy certification that you think's beneficial to your career, it could be like a powerlifting certification, you may not, even though you may want to train that way, you could have trained that way with a different certification that didn't cost $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. You can train powerlifters with a basic personal trainer certification. You can just study it on your own. So I don't think that wasting all that money and all that time when you can just train people the way that you want to train them is going to, you're just wasting resources when you can train them the way that you want to train them. The second point to this is kind of that let's just say you pick a powerlifting certification and it's strictly focused on powerlifting, but then you start training people and you realize that powerlifting might not be the thing for you, or you find something else that's also interesting along with powerlifting. Let's just say you get a personal trainer certification or certification in powerlifting, but you find out that you like body weight training just as much. Let's just say you want to do both, but the certification that you got had nothing to do with body weight training. It didn't tell you anything about body weight training. It just mentioned most about the big three: the squat, the bench, the dead. And you're like, well, I dropped $2,000 on that. Now I have to get more materials to learn about body weight training because I found a passion in that. So again, that's another reason why with a basic personal trainer certification, you could have went cheaper on that, just went with a regular standard certification, and then went off and bought more books and fine-tuned what you want to do with other resources. Again, I don't think your personal trainer certification should be the end-all, be-all for everything that you learn. I guess people put it on a pedestal and they're like, oh, well, I want a certification that teaches me this, this, and this, and I'll put all this money into it, when you don't even need to do that. Why not, again, and this is where I recommend this is what you do, is if you're someone who doesn't have an easy pathway laid out in front of you, like I said earlier, someone who wants to train athletes, just go to the NSCA. That's an easy path. You already know what to do. If you're someone who says, well, I'm not sure, I just want to train people in lots of things, and I'm not sure which one I get, or you're having difficulty, what I recommend is just picking any of the big certifications that are accredited. Again, if you want to go big change-ins, go to the NASM. But if you don't care and you just want to, you don't know what you're going to do, just pick any certification. If anything, I recommend getting the cheapest one you can get. Don't buy all the crazy gimmicks and stuff, unless you're a bad tester. But I mean, if you're okay at tests and you study hard, just buy the basic package they have from that organization, study it, pass the test, find out what you like, and then get other resources to help supplement that. It's just not a good idea to get all your knowledge from one organization anyways, because they're going to be biased towards their training methods and their info. If you get a bunch of books from respectable people, read an anatomy, physiology book, read a biomechanics book, read a sports physiology book, whatever it is, read your personal trainer or certification book, watch videos, get different books from different people that you like that aren't trying to gyp you for your money. You're going to get different viewpoints and different things, and you're going to be able to kind of pick through that information to say, well, this person makes more sense than this person. No harm, no foul against this person, but I agree with them. Okay, well, that doesn't make sense. This makes sense. Instead of dumping all this money into one knowledge source where they might be biased, you're getting different viewpoints. So again, I just recommend, if you don't know where to go, if you don't know where to start, pick any of the personal trainer certifications, any of the big name ones, get the cheapest one if you want, and then if you have extra money, use those resources, get other resources. Even if you don't have any extra money, let's just say you're already running low on money, it's probably best that you get the cheapest one anyways. There's lots of free content on there. Like, for example, Greg Knuckles has his website, Stronger by Science. I'm not sponsored by him or anything like that. I like his website. He has a lot of good content on there. Omar Isuf has a lot of good content on his YouTube channel. Vegan Gains has a lot of good nutrition content on his channel. He always talks about nutrition and provides sources for all of his claims. So whether you agree with me on those people or not, that's not what I'm here to talk about. Again, I'm just saying you could watch all those people and agree or disagree with them, whatever you want. I'm just saying that there's a lot of free content out there. Personal trainer certifications, they shouldn't be that made to be a big deal. Again, I still stand by my first video. If you want to find one that fits for you and you enjoy taking the time doing that, that's fine. But at the end of the day, I mean, I can't recall the last time I went back to my book and looked something up to find out what to do. I've usually gone outside my book with other YouTube videos or other resources to figure out what to do. If you guys have any questions, comments, please leave them down below. I will answer them. I've been trying to keep on top of that, but I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.